Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're gonna try this once again. You guys know how this network is, right? Sometimes it favors you, sometimes it doesn't, but it can't stop us, ladies and gentlemen. Again, this is Thomas Taylor III coming to you live from Lawrenceville, Georgia. And again, this morning I want to talk about abandonment issues, right? Issues that we're kind of dealing with as adults relative to our mother not being in our lives or our fathers not being in our lives, like kind of either one, right? So the last past couple of, days and actually weeks, I've been talking to different individuals and we really kind of been drilling down on how these issues of our parents, right? Making a different choice, right? So these are the ones that should be our benefactors, right? So our parents are the ones that really should teach us certain things, right? So for young ladies, your father should teach you, you're beautiful, you're, intelligent, you can be educated if you want, right? You can do anything you put your mind to, right? So your father's the one that should edify you, right? Make you feel like you're bigger than the world, that there's nothing that you can't conquer, right? And a lot of individuals are dealing with the fact that their mothers weren't in their life, right? So that's critical for a young girl as well as a young boy, right? It's real critical. But what happens is, unfortunately, those individuals that's responsible make a different decision. And once that different decision is made, now we have to deal with it. Like I talk all the time about my situation of growing up without my father, like I stated, I didn't really know and realize the impact of that until I got older, right? Because when I got older, kind of had a family, married, and then I kind of want to, get my namesake right because my last name wasn't right, all of these particular things. And then you slow down for a moment and you realize, like, wow, this guy actually, who's supposed to be responsible for me, wasn't around. And there's certain things that I didn't get, there's certain things that weren't taught, right? So when it comes to abandonment issues, again, like I said, this may not be for everybody, but if you know somebody who this may be beneficial for, go ahead and share the video to them because they might get something from it. So I want to specifically talk about three areas when it comes to abandonment issues, right? One is forgiveness. It's very important, right? The second one is limited beliefs, right? And then the third one is destiny, right? Like understanding our destiny, right? So in terms of forgiveness, why is that important, ladies and gentlemen? Why is that important? That's very important because when you understand the individuals who made a different decision, it's our job, it's our duty, right? In terms of the ones that were impacted, that's you and I. It's our job to forgive them. Why? You might say, well, why is that, Thomas? The reason why it's our job is because forgiving those individuals is for us. It's not necessarily for them. Why is that important? That's important because even if you look in the Lord's Prayer, right, it talks about forgiveness, right? Forgive us our trespasses as they trespass against us, right? So forgive us. That's very, very important because those individuals that wronged us, guess what they're doing? They're living their life, right? If you slow down and if you bring to those individuals, if you ever had an opportunity to talk to them, to explain to them how what they did to you impacted them, I guarantee you more than likely they'll deny it. They'll deny it and say, no, that wasn't me. Hey, Tony, I didn't do that. It didn't go that way, right? Because they always want to tell a narrative from their perspective, right? Not from the perspective of the individual, that's us, that was impacted, right? It's for some reason their level and remembrance of reality, it gets lost. But those of us who understand and know how what they did impacted us can articulate it very, very well. The second area is limited belief. Now, why is that important? Limited belief is important because when you deal with abandonment issues, unfortunately, they transition to trust issues. Trust issues come up in all areas of our life, you guys. It comes up in business, it comes up in relationships, right? So now, because of something that somebody else did, we're impacted and have a problem with trusting people. So what happens is now we internalize that and we minimize ourselves. So now here comes insecurities, right? Here comes these limited beliefs about ourselves. And guess what? We never opened our mouth. You never ever said anything to anybody, but those limited beliefs are lodged inside of our head because of the abandonment issues that transpired a long time ago. Now, why is that significant? Because somewhere in a book that I read that has 66 chapters, somewhere in that first chapter, Genesis somewhere, it talks about how we were made. It talks about that we were made in our creator's likeness. We were made in our creator's image. Now, why is that important? That's important because if you really understand that, there's nothing, absolutely nothing that you put your mind to that you can't do. Why? Because somewhere he talks about he's the beginning and the end. If you put your mind to it, you can do it, right? So if you understand that how we were made, how you were made, you have absolutely everything you need to become the person that you deem you want to be. It's not predicated on those individuals who abandon us. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that's where we spend our most time, on the individuals that were not there who were supposed to be there. So again, limited beliefs, right? Because there's things that you want to do. I know it, right? Tony, there's things that you want to do. There's things that you still want to accomplish, right? But you have this hesitancy, right? What is the hesitancy about? The hesitancy is about you just don't believe that you can get it done. But you have absolutely everything you need to accomplish it. Right. So that's why I just wanted to come on this morning and talk about this just for a little bit. You know, when I do webinars and things of that nature, I'm going to get a little bit deeper. But these abandonment issues, ladies and gentlemen, they are real. But there's not a lot of people talking about it, but they're showing up though. Right. And then when they show up, unfortunately, we don't have the tough conversations with individuals to start to pinpoint and connect the dots to their origin, right? Because that's the best way to eradicate anything is to find the origin. And the last thing I want to talk about is destiny. Now, why is that important? That's important because you really have to understand that you have a purpose, right? You have a destiny, right? That's not necessarily tied to the ones that birthed us, okay? Like now, you know, in society, everybody's in an uproar about the Roe versus Wade, right? You know, everybody has different opinions about that. But guess what? Guess what I want to tell you? Somewhere in that same book that I read every now and again, it talks about how your creator knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb, that he sanctified you. Now just think about that for a moment. Just think about that for one moment. Before you were formed, the individual, the creator, your creator, right? Before in your mother's womb, he already sanctified you, right? He already knew who you were gonna be. Good morning, Derek. Good morning. Good morning. He sanctified you before you was in your mother's womb, right? So what does that mean? You got to really understand that. Like he already knew what your destiny was gonna be, right? But we get caught in the individuals who allowed us to come through the birthing canal to birthed us. That's where we put all our focus on, right? Not the creator who created us. We put our focus on the individual who birthed us. So on this Sunday, I just want to challenge somebody out there and encourage somebody at the same time. I understand how you feel because I felt the same way. Because the individuals that are and were responsible for our welfare made a different decision. But I want to encourage you, don't stay there. It's a situation that transpired. It's a situation that happened, but it's not who you are because your destiny is different, right, than what they said it was, right? Because a lot of us growing up, you ain't gonna be nothing. You just like your mother, or you just like your father. They wasn't nothing. You ain't gonna be nothing. How many times have we heard that? So many times we start to take on that personality. We start to believe it because it starts to shape our minds. It starts to mold us, and it's far, far from reality, ladies and gentlemen. So on this Sunday morning, abandonment issues, right? We want to eradicate them because it's slowing you down. It's slowing us up, right? There's greatness in you that we have to do. Your destiny is lying before you. Now you might say, hey, Thomas, I'm not so sure what that is. Okay, well, here's a trick. Somewhere in that same book that I read every now and again, right? Somewhere in Matthew 7, it says ask. It says seek. It says knock. Why is that important? Because everyone who asks receives, and he that seeks finds, and to him that knocketh it shall be open. Right? So just slow down for a moment, and ask your creator what your destiny is. And I guarantee you, I promise you one thing, he will reveal it to you. If you slow down enough, he will reveal it to you. And then now you have to build up the confidence, the wherewithal, the self esteem to actually go out there and have those things manifest. Now, if you need a coach, you can reach out to myself, right? My website is www.tailoryourdreams.com. If you know somebody that's looking for a coach, all my social media is on my website. Please reach out. You can schedule calendar, invite. You can schedule something and we can sit down and have some discussions and I can help you, understand those things, right? And show you how to walk you through certain things, right? But if it's not me, just find a coach, like find somebody to help you get those things that's inside of you out of you so you can live the life that you were destined and ordained to live. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, some of us are living our lives short. And what I mean by that, we're not living our full lives. Like, look at these trees behind me, right? You see these trees behind me? Just think about this, and I'm leaving you with this. Those trees, they grow as tall as they can. There's no tree out there that only grows to their understanding of their limitations. It doesn't happen to trees. Look at them. If I put the camera up there, it goes as high as it possibly can go, right? That's their maximum potential. That's a tree, right? That's just sitting there, right? But it doesn't allow the weather. It doesn't allow the turmoil. It doesn't allow those things to stop it from growing. That tree will grow to its maximum height. What about us? What's stopping us? What's stopping you? Is it what they said about you? Go on, Elisa. Is it what they said about you? Is it what they called you? Is what they said that you couldn't do? That you believed them? Unfortunately, sometimes people's perceptions becomes their reality. Not only do it become their reality, they find a way to move their perception to our understanding. Hey, good morning, Charles. And now their perception of us becomes our reality. And it freezes us and it stagnates us, right? But again, look at those trees, ladies and gentlemen. Those trees, like I said, will grow as high as their potential. You have potential inside of you that you are minimizing because your circumstances, because the things that are going on around you, right? I challenge you on this Sunday morning. Good morning, Taher. On this Sunday morning, to reach your potential that your creator has destined and ordained that you can reach, right? Don't allow challenges, abandonment issues, don't allow those things to hold you back, right? Because they're a figment of your imagination. They're not real. Unfortunately, people shape them and they try to make them real. Good morning, Mike, but they're not real, right? So when you understand those things, but there's certain things that we have to do, right? Again, I'll go over real quick. We have to forgive. That's very important, right? We have to get past our limited belief because then it minimizes our trust, right? Because of what they said about us, right? But again, somewhere in that beginning of the book in Genesis, it talks about how you were created. You were created in your creator's image, his likeness, right? And then the other thing is destiny. Why is that important? Because somewhere in that Jeremiah section, he talks about before you were formed in your mother's womb, he knew you, he sanctified you, he gave you everything that you need. But again, like I said, we get caught up in the transformation inside of the womb of that individual. On this Sunday morning, 4th of July weekend, I want you to be like a tree and reach your highest potential. And don't let nothing, I mean nothing, stop you because I know you can do it. And if you're just not so sure, utilize my belief in you until you work up enough energy, you get enough experience to have the belief of your own that anything you put your mind to, you can do. Don't get caught up in what you're looking at because unfortunately, we stop at our eyes. We allow our eyes to dictate and determine our reality. But do me a favor, close your eyes and tell me what you see. See? Because you have to see it first in your mind's eye before it become reality. Slow down. Think about your next moves. Think larger, right? Think bigger. See it. Feel it. See how it feels, right? And it's okay to be fearful, right? Fear is a part of that. Feel the fear, but do it anyway. Do it anyway. Why? Because if you didn't have the ability to get it done, he would have never gave it to you, ladies and gentlemen. So again, as you guys know, I can go, but good morning, good morning. Great to see everybody out there on this Sunday morning, 4th of July weekend. Be safe out there. Again, if you guys want to follow me in terms of social media, and if you know somebody that can benefit from this message, please share it. My website is www.tailoryourdreams. Why is that significant? Because you have dreams, ladies and gentlemen, that have not been fulfilled yet, including myself. So I challenge you this Sunday morning. Let's start to fulfill those dreams. It's been a plum pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. Until we speak again, go out there. Hey, good morning, Taher. Good morning. Good morning. Go out there and make this a great day. If you guys need me, you guys know how to find me. But until then, make it a great day.